Okay, so in this video I'm going to show you how to create chapters and sections. Now, chapters and sections are the basic building blocks of an ebook as created in the Ultimate eBook Creator. Okay, so it's very important that you understand what chapters are and what sections are, okay, and how they're used to automatically build the table of contents. So let me just show you in the Kindle desktop reader what they look like inside the table of contents. Okay, so here is my my UEC user guide that I created, and I've loaded it up into the Kindle desktop reader, and here is the table of contents that you can see here. Okay, so the bolded items here are chapters, and the unbolded and slightly indented are the sections. So basically, the Ultimate eBook Creator creates a two-level hierarchy in the table of contents, where you have a chapter and then you have a section, one or more sections under the chapter. So this is how you're going to see the table of contents. Okay, all right, very simple. Okay, so let's go back and I'm going to show you how to do that. So when you start the Ultimate eBook Creator, on the left hand side, which is our navigation pane, you see 4 items already inserted into the navigation. So we have the book information, cover page, title, and the table of contents. Now, I've covered these in details in a previous video, so I'm not going to go through that. I'm going to focus on the chapter and sections. So to create a chapter, all you need to do is basically find an empty space in the left-hand navigation, right-click, and then select chapter, and then click Add Chapter. So we get the chapter and section dialog box, and here we're just going to type in something like Quick Start. Okay, here we have 2 options. One is Show in Table of Contents. If you uncheck this, then this chapter will not show in the table of contents in an ebook. Okay, so basically these options are really relevant for ebooks. Now, I'm not talking about when you generate an export, I should say, to MS Word or PDF. That's a different story, and these things don't really comply to that, and I have another video that explains all that. So we are focusing on ebooks right now, electronic books. So showing table of contents will show this chapter in the table of contents, or it will hide it. Insert page break basically will ensure that if you insert the page break, and I do recommend that for chapters you leave this option on, insert page break will ensure that your chapter will start at the top of the page, right, of a brand new page. So you want to make sure that you keep this on. We'll click OK. So once we do that, here we are, we're in the chapter, and then we see this little section at the top which is giving us some information, and we see our nice editor down here. Okay, if you want to change the text in the table of contents, okay, you can just basically type it in here, like say introduction. Okay, so this is actually changing the table of contents text, not the title that appears in the content. Okay, they were totally different, and for an electronic book you can just delete this if you wish to. So there are some books where you really don't want a heading in the chapter or section, then you can remove it. Okay, however, your table of contents will have a text in here, so you can create a nice table of contents. When you click on this, you will go to a page and you will not see this heading or anything in here. So you can have it or you can remove it. You can call this anything you want. You can call this Quick Start. So your table of contents text and the heading that appears in your content can be completely different. Okay, I personally don't recommend that you do that, but anyway, the option is there. It's flexible. You can do what you need to do. once again, you have the two options, so you can check and uncheck as you need to, and that is the chapter. Now, to create sections, sections can only be created under a chapter. So when you right click in this space, the only thing you can do is add a chapter. For the section, because this is highlighted, it is allowing you to add a section. Okay, so because this is highlighted, I can add a section under here. So if I right click, I go here, I can add a section. Okay, so I'm just going to call this something like quick start, and then once again we have our showing table of contents and insert a page break. Okay, so you can play with these options as you need to, and we'll click OK. And you can set up several chapters and sections. So let's go ahead, and I'm just going to add in I'm going to add chapter 2. I'm going to add a chapter 3. Also going to add a chapter 4, and then under here I'm going to add a another section. So I'm just going to call it section 1. And if you click on a section, you can actually go into section and say insert section. Okay, so that insert will actually insert it in place, and this one will actually move down. So if we say insert section, I'll say section 000, and we'll click OK, and so it inserts in place and pushes this one down. Okay, so let's go ahead and insert one more, section 2. Alright, so here we have a we have a nice book going on, and the next thing that I want to show you is how to move these things up and down. Okay, so if you want to move the chapter 4 above chapter 3, simply right click on the chapter and then select this option, move up, and then it jumps up, and you can keep doing that, so you can move up again. Alright, now obviously when you're at the last chapter you won't be able to move down, so it's grayed out. And the last thing in the moving is the move with the 3 dots. So this is an advanced move. So say for example you wanted to move this right the way above the introduction, right? So if you did it one by one, then you'd have to go move up, move up, move up. So if you have a really big book, it kind of gets really tiresome. So this is a really fast way of doing this. So all you need to do is basically right click on the chapter and then say move. Okay, so this brings up a dialog. Now it's going to tell you where do you want to move. Obviously you can't move to the same place. So if I click this, it's going to say you cannot select the same chapter. So I'm going to say introduction, so it's going to jump up here, and I click OK, and there it goes. So it brings down the introduction chapter and moves this. The other things you can do is that you can expand the whole tree, or you can collapse the tree. Okay, and same with the sections. I can go to the section, I can move the section down, I can move the section up. Okay, I can move it up, and I can also move the section. Okay, so I want to move this section under chapter 2, so I can just go chapter 2 and I'll click OK, and now that section moved under chapter 2. So it's pretty flexible. You can do a whole bunch of stuff. You can make the chapters jump, or and reorder them as you like. Okay, so you can do that. The other thing I want to show you is the bulk actions. So for example, let's say you have 20 chapters and you want to make them all uncheck on the show in table of contents. So for that, you go to edit and you go to chapters, and then you have 2 bulk actions. Show in table of contents, check all, will check them all, and uncheck will uncheck them. Okay, and it does this operation on all the chapters. So if you've got 50 chapters, it's going to do it on all 50 chapters. And same for the section here. We can check all or uncheck all for the table of contents. And for the insert page break, we can do the same thing. We can check all or uncheck all. Okay. Okay, so now that we've done this, I just want to quickly show you in the table of contents, right? So when this table of contents is generated, you're going to get, if you click on this item, you're going to see the table of contents. So here you can see very quickly that we have a title page, then we have chapter 3, and then we have introduction, and then we have, you know, the sections going on here with chapter 4, chapter 2, etc. It quickly shows you what is in the table of contents, if there's a page break, gives you a word count, and if you want to see the total word count, all you need to do is go to edit and then select this word count here, and this gives you the total word count in your entire book. Okay. Now the last thing I want to show you is that you can actually change the font and the style of the elements within the table of contents. So the first thing is the table of contents, the title that appears on the table of contents page. So you can show that or hide that. Okay, you can change the title, so you can call it contents. You can call it whatever you want. You can change the font by clicking this, and you can select whatever font and style you want. Okay, and you can left, right, or center justify. Okay, and for the chapters and the sections, you can do the same thing. So all you need to do is right click in any of this white area, and then you get two options. So chapter font. Okay, so once again, we can do the same thing. We can say I want my chapters to be Arial black, and let's just go for bold. Actually, that'll probably look better. Okay, so it shows you visually that this is what the font has been selected, and for the section we're going to select something different, something like this, just to show some difference. So obviously you're not going to be doing some crazy stuff like this, but it's just to illustrate a point. Okay, so there you go. That's all you need to do for your chapters and sections, and we'll see you in the next video.